Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another director battle. Today it features two of the greatest immigrants to come to Hollywood, Ernst Lubitsch and Billy Wilder, both famous for their comedies but have done other things. I have seen more Wilder than Lubitsch, but some of Lubitsch's films are amongst my favourite films of all time. One of these directors is currently ranked 5th in my imaginary director list. So I'll just go through some of their films. So we'll start with Billy Wilder. The Emperor Waltz with Bing Crosby is coming to Kino Lorber Blu-ray, I think. But this is The Major and the Minor, his fairly early one, co-written by Charles Brackett, who would obviously go on to a much greater career as a Hollywood screenwriter. This stars Ray Milland and Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers pretends to be a 12-year-old in this film. Yep, it's a film that just wouldn't be made nowadays. Then we have Five Graves to Cairo. Eureka Masters of Cinema have released a bunch of Wilder on Blu-ray, which is fantastic. This is a lot of fun. Again, some of his early films do suffer from not very good lead male performances. But Five Graves to Cairo is a lot of fun. Then we have first of his arguable masterpieces in Double Indemnity, one of the quintessential noirs. Then Lost Weekend, which is possibly a second favourite Wilder. Then A Foreign Affair with Jean Arthur and the wonderful Marlene Dietrich. Again, John Lund is the male lead and he's not that great, but again it's an interesting film from 1948. Then Sunset Boulevard, which again is just a wonderful, wonderful Billy Wilder. Then Ace in the Hole from 1951. This is the Eureka Masters of Cinema, arguably Kirk Douglas's finest film, and it probably is my favourite Billy Wilder. Just so acerbic and bleak and absolutely wonderful. Next, Stalag 17 is knockabout comedy in a prisoner of war camp. And Sabrina, not one of my favourites. I don't have Love in the Afternoon yet. The 7-Year Itch, which is probably the Wilder film that has aged the worst, I would say. Witness to the Prosecution, again on Eureka Masters of Cinema. Some Like It Hot, which isn't anywhere near my favourite Billy Wilder. This might be his most famous film along with Apartment. It's still a very good film, but I've never been a huge fan of it, if I'm being honest. The Apartment, this is the Arrow Academy Special Edition, wonderful film. 1, 2, 3 with Jimmy Cagney. Again, this is later Wilder, and one of the flaws in later Wilder is his films are way too long, but still there's so much pleasure to be had. Arma La Douche, with Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine. Again, 143 minutes. A bit too long. Here's the Eureka Masters of Cinema Blu-ray edition. And then we have Kiss Me Stupid, probably the second Billy Wilder film that hasn't aged very well. The Fortune Cookie with Lemmon and Matthau. The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes, which is an absolute blast. It might be my third or fourth favourite Wilder, it's so good. This is 125 minutes, and the rumour was there was originally a 3-hour version of the film, which I would love to have seen. Features wonderful performance by Christopher Lee as Mycroft Holmes, Sherlock's brother. Features goings on in Loch Ness. Avanti, which again, this one's 140 minutes. It's just too long, but again, lots of fun to be had. The Front Page, obviously not as good as His Girl Friday, but it's Matthau and Jack Lemmon, obviously. Fedora, which plays as a double bill with Sunset Boulevard. Again, this is his second last film. It's not great, but it is very good. Again, a little too long. And then he finished his career with Buddy Buddy, again with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. I did a double take video with Buddy Buddy and Pain in the Ass, which is the French film that Buddy Buddy's a remake of, which is now available in Kino Lorber Blu-ray, which I'll have to pick up with Lino Ventura, which is fantastic. So that's Wilder. Lubitsch has some Stone Cold classics. Again, I haven't seen as many of Lubitsch. Again, he's another guy who just died way too early. He died age 55, I think, 55 or 53. So we have Design for Living, which is a pre-code film from 1933, essentially about a threesome, with Gary Cooper, Frederick March, and Miriam Hopkins. Sorry, I always forget her name. Transgressive and quite rude and absolutely wonderful. Madame du Barry from 1919, one of his German silent films. Not a huge fan of this one. Lubitsch in Berlin from 1918 to 1921. Haven't watched all of them. Heaven Can Wait, which is a beautiful little film. I don't know whether it is available on Criterion Blu-ray in Region A, it might be. Great performance by Don Amici, Gene Tierney, and of course Laird Krieger as the Devil. As you know, I'm a huge Laird Krieger fan, and he was fantastic as His Excellency. A Criterion Eclipse set of Lubitsch musicals. So this is 4 musicals: The Love Parade, Monte Carlo, The Smiling Lieutenant, and 1 Hour with You. Again, I'm still to check these out. Ninotchka with Greta Garbo, which is a Stone Cold masterpiece. The Shop Around the Corner with James Stewart and Margaret Sullivan, which is a Stone Cold masterpiece. Bluebeard's Eighth Wife with Gary Cooper and Claudette Colbert. This is a Kino Lorber Blu-ray. This is almost a Stone Cold masterpiece. Trouble in Paradise from 1932 with Miriam Hopkins and Herbert Marshall. This is almost a Stone Cold masterpiece. And To Be or Not to Be from 1942, which is a Stone Cold masterpiece. And this is a Criterion Blu-ray of To Be or Not to Be, which is a Stone Cold masterpiece. Sadly, Carol Lombard's last film, but what a performance. Jack Benny's fantastic in it as well. Just absolute perfect film. So that's Lubitsch. I've still got some of his German films and his musicals to watch. but he has 4 or 5 of my favourite films. But Wilder has a bit more. Wilder's screenwriting with IEL Diamond is one of the legendary writing partnerships. Yes, some of his later catalogue's a bit long and some of his films haven't aged that well, but again, he has for me almost half a dozen absolute masterworks, and he is ranked number 5 in my director list. So for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to go with Wilder, even though Lubitsch I think is somehow underrated, but some of his films are absolutely perfect. So thanks very much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below which way you're going to vote, either Lubitsch or Wilder, and hopefully you'll join me again for the last episode of Director Battles. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying cheerio.